All right, welcome back, traders. Hopefully y'all had a wonderful weekend. Haven't seen you guys in a bit. Last week I didn't come on. I had some family stuff, so missed you guys last week. However, we did just close a monthly candle close here. I believe it was yesterday or day before. So not a good candle close. You can see we closed underneath this 19.5 or this 20K region that we needed to get a close above, and well, this was kind of the magic number. So looks to me right now we're in a monthly breakdown. Likely story to retest these wick lows around 17.6K, even 18.2 area obviously first, but we could get continued price action down to the 13.8 level. That's 100%, not 100%. That is the most likely scenario we will see. Obviously, the stock market closing in terrible fashion here, right? We broke the weekly support. We're right near the weekly 200-day moving average for the S&P 500. Probably one of the worst weekly and monthly and quarterly closes that the stock market's seen since 2008. So pretty pivotal stuff happening right now in the market. For the S&P, we're obviously in a recession. We've been in a recession since the start of this year, so no real surprise to us. Obviously, we've been monitoring these markets all year, right? So, figured I'd give you guys just a quick synopsis of what the S&P was doing. DXY came off a little bit because, well, the Great British Pound hit lows from 1985, and I believe their bond market almost collapsed, and so they had to start with quantitative easing, bringing their fiat currency back up, and the euro maybe catching some bids down at that 96-cent area. Obviously, you guys know that if the euro and the GBP start gaining versus the dollar index will obviously go down, right? But still, this monthly candle closure, bullish engulfing candle. Yes, we're heading into some resistance here, but this thing can still continue its moves up here, even at overbought extreme levels on the monthly. The quarterly, we can see it's just now creating some higher levels of positive momentum on the quarterly. We could see the DXY rally, up to this 119 level. I mean, I don't see why it doesn't do that. Especially if the Fed continues raising interest rates and continuing the way it's been going about it, right? We're trying to curb the inflation. We all know that that's probably not even viable. It's probably not going to happen anytime soon. We're going to probably see inflation continue. I feel like it's part of their plan to collapse these markets. So I don't want to be the guy that's saying that, but it sounds to me like that's what they're trying to do. To move everybody eventually into a new financial system, which we call crypto. So that, I believe, is the plan. Might take some time. Could take years, obviously. There's still not enough regulation or litigation going on in the crypto space, but I think eventually that's where we all will reside. So that's my personal opinion. Obviously, do your own research, of course, but that's what these charts are basically telling me. So we could see DXY continue, which could cause continuation of downside here. Where is the bottom, right? So that's a really great question. We don't really know where the true bottom is going to be, but we got some things we can look at here that could basically tell us where the bottom might be, especially in the equities markets. And we can really look at the VIX. So the VIX is a pretty good indication of where we might find a bottom. And that typically, you could see back from the Corona crash, we could see that the VIX spiked up to 85, and that was a bottom, right? So we could do something similar, right? We could do something similar with the VIX here. We could see the VIX continue to climb as it's been doing, and we just really want to be paying attention to what the VIX is doing, right? So, you know, we have this wick high here at 39. Once we get above 40, there's really not much here. It could continue, and we could see this market continue to sell off going into the next couple months, right? We could very well see a relief rally in between there. Obviously, oscillators are oversold. You know, where everyone's thinking we're going much, much lower, which eventually we will, in my opinion. Obviously, once we made this monthly and quarterly close, there's nothing to say that we can't go back up to retest this level, this 19.8 level, as resistance to confirm this breakdown here, right? Do you think the market's dropping to fight inflation? Yeah. I think the Fed's raising interest rates to fight inflation, which in turn creates people don't want to be in risk on assets when that's happening, right? So they go into the bonds, they go into but mostly cash. That's where people are parking their money, right? So if we look at like the US 10-year, we can see that this has just been on a nice rip since August, September, right? Now there's no reason why this doesn't stop. It should at least get to at least this resistance area around 5.25%. And so I know your bond yields right now are around like what 9%. Is the collapse near node? I don't know, man. I just figured I'd make a catchy title, which didn't really catch a lot of people. But you know, what are you gonna do? Land in gold. Yeah, I guess that depends where you are, right? So I think land is also going to see movements down too, because people can't really afford. People are going to be able to afford their mortgage. They continue raising interest rates, right? So who's going to be able to afford land? So Tether at resistance right here on the daily. It's tested it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. It's the 5th test at this resistance level. You know, most likely going to break it, right? All right, so our next real major level of support is around this 13.8K level on the monthly. And I would say that that's our next stop, man. I mean, there's nothing really here. This is just a candle that went straight up. So if markets start collapsing, there's no reason why Bitcoin doesn't collapse with it, even though it is a commodity. You know, gold and oil are also probably going to collapse initially. But obviously after we get a crash, we get a nice flush out like this, we'll probably see commodities recover a lot faster than traditional assets. That's historically what's happened, so probably see something similar. And I don't know when that's going to happen, right? We just have to continue to watch the market. But we have a wick low here on 17.6. If we break that, or I should say when we break that, yeah, like 14K, 13.8K region right here. So yeah, if you guys have any special requests on any cryptos, let me know, or stocks, let me know. I was looking at JP Morgan on the 6-month chart. It looked pretty bad. JP Morgan is looking not so good up here. So the 6-month chart, although interest rates are going up, right, banks should be doing well in this type of environment. But this 6-month chart right here doesn't look too good at all. We have a couple more months before we really get resolution on this structure. And we can clearly see that it's coming to this trend line right here. If it breaks this and closes a 6-month candle outside of it, we have a rising wedge confirmation. Yeah, we could look at Filecoin. Credit Suisse, I don't even know if they have a stock, do they? Oh, I guess they do. They're headquartered in Zurich, right? Credit Suisse Group AG, CH. CS, I guess is the ticker. Let's see what that looks like. Oh yeah, that looks wonderful, man. Not really too much to chart here. It's at all-time lows. So let's see. It already did a 1618. Fib extension actually exceeded it. Maybe it goes to 2.25. That's your next real level. For Credit Suisse. RSR, we could look at it, yeah. And then Filecoin, we'll take a look at it too. Yep, sure. I think I'm going to change the song. Give me a second here. All right, so Filecoin closing a doji monthly candle right now in a breakdown technically on the monthly. Sure, we can look at metals. We're gonna look at file. We're gonna look at reserve rights. Then we'll look at some metals. All right. So file right on a weekly support here. We obviously know it's in a monthly breakdown right now. I'm pissed? How? Why am I pissed? I'm not pissed. Yeah, so if file really does continue its breakdown, we're looking at $4 and $4.25 basically. Not much really, no data real down here to really know. Obviously it's gone way past its. Yeah, I guess that 420 area is pretty confluent with the major swing low from here to the swing high. What's going on, IJ Money? So yeah, if we do get a breakdown and we break the support, we've tested it many times. Eventually it will break the support if the markets continue to sell off, which they're doing right now. Not really doing, but they're down about 0.25% right now on Bitcoin. And what sucks with Filecoin here is that it's still producing positive momentum, but price action is bearish. So like as soon as this thing starts to roll over, it's just gonna start creating negative momentum again and going through this whole motion of making more negative momentum, making lower lows, all that stuff. Not a really great asset. Not a great performer at all. RSR, sure, let's take a look at it. Forget where I had this one charted. Maybe it was here. Yeah, okay. All right, so reserve rights actually broke north out of a bearish pennant. I'd say that I think I said this before, it can go up to that roughly that 1.1 cent area, looks like, and maybe test that. You got some resistance there. Looking left on the chart here, you can clearly see that's an area where it could test, and maybe it does test that. 1.1, I guess, is a real resistance. You could look for maybe a short opportunity there. Obviously, you're overbought, extended. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks. Appreciate that. I've been all right. I've been good. Let's see. Sand, and then we'll look at... actually, let's look at some of these metals. Lithium, copper, gold, silver. So the U.S. is postponing new container shipments due to port backlog. Definitely will hurt economy. All right, so let's check out gold. This song sucks. All right, so gold. Gold trying to claw its way back, but it looks like it might just retest this breakdown level around 1680. And if it can get back above 1680, then we can talk about maybe retesting 1800. But until then, it's just lower highs, right? Lower highs and lower lows right now for gold. silver. I'm gonna silver can, I guess, like on the longer term time scale charts here, it looks like it could test or is testing the monthly 200 day right now as we speak around this 19 area. We could come up to test, you know, 1985. See if this area acts as a support again. Obviously, we have to break above this $20.3 area to really make movements back north. Otherwise, we're just in this bear flag here. Okay. All right, so that's gold, silver. We're gonna look at lithium and copper. I don't think I've ever really charted lithium, but let's take a look. Do we have a ticker for, I guess we can look at lithium futures. I don't know. I've never really charted lithium, but this looks insane. Continuous contract in front. Looks like this just started, LTH. It only has one ticker. I mean, this looks like a bull flag to me, right? This looks like you're going to go up to test 83 and probably break that. I don't know. I don't have any data on this, really. So, copper. Copper. Sitting right on a major fib extension here, where we made a low, and looks like it's trying to make a higher low for a potential double bottom there. Not really confirmed. So not really a good candle close on the weekly for copper, but you know, did close above this support, so that's good. We're sitting right below the weekly 200 right now, typically below the 200-week moving average. You're looking at major maybe capitulations like this, like we did see in coronavirus, and below the 200-week here, we saw a major move down. We could see something similar. We could see copper, you know, do something like this, where it comes down and then comes back up. Could see another major crash for it. That's yet to be determined, but this doesn't look bullish, okay? It's not making higher highs, not making higher lows. Ah, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Crypto Soldier, appreciate that. All right, so yeah, copper not looking too hot in a bear flag here. Holding these lows for right now. We're looking to see if this can hold at 3.25 level. If it breaks 3.25, we're looking at $3, right? You got some support there, and this level, this 618 level around this 285 looks pretty. Looks like there's a lot of price action here, so you could see some buying coming here. It depends on really the demand for copper, right? All right, so that's lithium, copper, gold, and silver. Somebody requested Doge. We'll take a look at Doge, Sand, XRP, Matic, and then Alon requested USCI. Let's just take a look at USCI real fast. I don't even know what that is. USCI commodity index. So this looks like looks like we see some more downside here, right? We're teetering right around 40-ish on the weekly RSI. What was the month? What's the monthly look like? Monthly looks like it's rolling over. We're over, just coming out of basically bullish territory here. We're sitting bullish territory, 60 on the RSI. Lots of downside here on the monthly time scale. Looks like we got major support right around this 47.85 area, which is obviously, if this is the commodity index, that means we're talking about commodities coming down, right? That's what we've been talking about here. And yeah, we're right at a major trend line. So if you break that, definitely looking at further downside for the commodities, right? So got a support here. Got a support here. So this looks to me like an area where we could see some buying come in for these commodities, for the commodity index, right? And that is confluent with the 618 and the 50% retrace level. So right on that 48 to 42 region. So there's definitely some support there. Okay. So XRP, Matic, sand, and oil. Look at oil real fast. So I think we projected this to go down. Last time we charted it, it has been coming down. And is getting a nice bounce off this region, which is a confluent region, right? We were talking about this level, this $80 level, okay? And yeah, we'll see how this plays out. It's looking like it's rounding out here on the RSI and the weekly. Still in bearish control zone, roughly around 38 on the weekly. Let's go to the daily. Daily looks like we have some divergence that could be playing out for US oil, and perhaps a retest of that 85 level for oil. Okay. And your supply line is kind of confluent with that 85 level, right? So if you, it would make a lot of sense if you go and test the supply line here. All right, so that's oil. We're going to look at XRP, sand, and Matic. Look at sand real fast. So it didn't quite break out, right? Because Bitcoin's not really doing that right now, unfortunately. But so this is your downsloping channel here for sand. You have your major supply line around this $1.11 area, but doesn't look like you're even really catching bids at all on this asset right now. Nobody really cares about sand. And yeah, your next major support is around the 76 region. If you continue movements down, if we do get a movement up, we're looking to retest the. Do I think short term will move up? I think we could retest that breakdown level. That would make sense for us to do, to really confirm it as resistance before we really get a nice crash. Like, we'll see if we get that. We should get a retest. After you get a breakdown, you usually get a back test, right? Just like when you get a breakout, you get a back test. So same rule applies for movements down. You know, you're gonna get a retracement back up to back test that 19,891 region for Bitcoin, I think. Unless unless the stock market just starts collapsing, I think we get a retest. So, in the event that we do get a retest, we could see sand maybe retest this like 85-cent region, or even as high as $1. That's like your next real major resistance. You know, towards the top of this range here. That would make some sense if we did get a nice bounce or something, or another back test. All right, so that's sand. We'll look at XRP. XRP obviously been performing pretty well the last couple weeks. Making a nice double bottom or W shape down here. I think I had this charted on the 1x chart, maybe. So it isn't a major structure, which is interesting. It's looks better than a lot of other assets right now, I will say. Right, monthly bullish engulfing candle closed. You know, if it holds this 45-cent region, it could use it as support and consolidate here before then making moves higher to the 70 to 80-cent region. I have a long-term projection here. I don't know if this pattern's going to play out, but if it does, you're looking at a major move in the next few years. All right, this pattern's been in development since 2017. Okay, so if this does play out, this is a very, 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 very large pattern. Okay, so that's XRP, sand we covered, and what did we Matic, right? So Matic also closing not a bad weekly, right? Closed right back above that critical area there around that 75-cent region. Another asset that's been kind of outperforming the market with their Disney partnership and, you know, a lot of other fundamentally sound things happening for this asset. So yeah, we could see Matic trades towards the top of the range potentially if it continues to outperform the market. Really all going to depend on how the markets really go, right? So if Bitcoin just consolidates and sits, then Matic has a chance to outperform. If we get some real volatility and Bitcoin starts crashing, well, I don't really see Matic holding up. It's just going to probably come down also, right? So, you know, targets for upside as high as probably like 95 cents to like that $1 region, top of the range there. And then so for downside targets, we're looking at, you know, major level support here, 70 cents, and then right around the 63-cent region, okay? Sure, we can look at GRT. And then Chili's, sure. So it's still down here in this bearish flag, bear flag, whatever you want to call this, towards the bottom of the range, right? But I don't really know anyone that's buying this asset right now. It's like hasn't really been bought since well, 2020, right, when I made this run up. There's no real demand for risk on assets right now with the Fed doing what it's doing, so it's tough to really be bullish on anything right now. Thoughts on ETH? Yeah, we could take a look at ETH, but probably the same rule applying for ETH, right? Even though it's becoming a deflationary asset with the merge, and everything is setting up, right? So like, I'm not saying it's bad to buy, you know, to accumulate some of the majors down here at these prices, okay? But it's possible we're going to see some more capitulation, okay? So make sure you have a game plan to dollar cost average into assets that you think are viable for the future. And that's basically what I'm doing. I'm not really trading this market right now. I'm just kind of sidelining and watching what's happening, and that's really it. Like been kind of busy with having a baby and stuff too. So just kind of taking it easy and watching the markets and what they're doing right now. Dollar cost averaging into some ETH and some longer term assets, BNB. Some layer ones, some layer twos. I bought some DOT, Glimmer, Algorand. Yeah, just do some homework on what projects you really like and think are viable for the future is all I could really say. All right, we'll look at ETH and SHIB and Chili's. Already had one, brother. Already had one, yeah. All right, so Chili's rising wedge here, I guess kind of played out or is playing out. Looks like you might backtest this 22-cent region. Still making a higher low. It's still in this downsloping channel for now. I would guess once you get towards the top of this channel that you probably have a good short setup up here unless you do get a breakout. So Chili's could get up to maybe 30 cents if it continues. Long baby back ribs, nice. All right, so Bitcoin going for maybe a back test at around the 19,891 area, maybe 20K region. We'll see. Depends on what the DXY is doing, right? And the traditional stock market. Wouldn't shock me if it got a back test before further downside. And I don't think we're going to see real further downside maybe until the end of the month. So we could get a nice rally, a nice relief rally here into the beginning of this month. We'll see. We shall see. All right. So look at ETH. So ETH kind of holding this support right now around this 1250 region. Hasn't broke it yet, but it would make a lot of sense if we came down to retest this $1,000 level. I mean, so we did have some potential like fractal setups here, but you know, I don't know how far down ETH might go. But if Bitcoin goes to 14K, it would make sense for ETH to, you know, at least retest these lows and maybe even to make a lower low. 650 is maybe the region I was looking at for ETH if we really capitulate hard. I have an alert set up around 750 that if it starts breaking that, I'll definitely be dollar cost averaging in for my long-term position for ETH. And I could be really wrong. I have no idea what this market's going to do. I mean, there's only so much technical analysis can help us with. It can help us with, you know, previous support and resistance levels and momentum, right? That's all we can really look at. We don't know what the Fed's going to do. We don't know what other economies are going to do to have an effect on the crypto market. We don't know any of this stuff, guys. We just have to continue to monitor the situation in the markets and the macro. And if it makes sense to be in a risk-on asset, well, then you guys know what to do, right? So, but nothing on these charts right now are telling me that we're reversing or we're going to see a major move or anything good, right? So we could see, you know, this if this is a bearish bat pattern, we could see the 50% retrace, which is kind of in line with what I was talking about, which is around that $650 level for ETH. So that's it. I mean, we'll look at AMC, sure. I mean, I don't even know why you would want to trade this thing, man. It's just, that's a nasty fucking reversal candle. AMC is going to get trashed, man. Who the hell goes to the movie theaters anymore, man? I get it. It's a meme stock, man. I get it. This doesn't look good, man. This looks like garbage. I would not put my money in this thing. Total 2, sure. Yeah, I got some metrics to show you guys to look at. All right, total 2 looks like it broke the major channel here, but I only have one touch point up here, so not really viable. I guess we could use this, but this kind of gets out this whole blow off top up here, right? So, but even still, we started breaking it. You know, the 200-week moving average is right around this $450 billion region. You're going to short it. Yeah, shorting stuff has been the name of the game this past year. So, don't want to short support though. Remember that looks like it's at a support. Maybe wait for it to get a nice bounce or something. All right. Yep. Pride chart, cycle repaint, and we're gonna also look at the Nupal chart. So Pride chart says what it says. We're in the fire sale zone, which I've been saying. Obviously, we're in long-term accumulation zones for Bitcoin. And obviously probably for ETH too, even if it does go to 650 bucks. Oops, I just clicked on the same chart. Yeah, the ETH rainbow chart's probably in the same zone. Yeah, so, but you can see that the Pride chart, you know, we could go below this zone. And if we go below the zone, I'm thinking like it gets to that 650 level, right? Do some short call outs. Yeah, sure. I don't like shorting at stuff at supports. I was calling shorts out earlier this year when like Solana was at like 180 bucks and like, Luna was up there and all these altcoins were in good risk to reward areas, but it's not really. Yeah, exactly, man. So even if you're in monthly breakdowns, like the risk to reward for short right now isn't. I'd rather just not even short. I'd rather just sit in cash and watch the shit just crash. Because like, what am I gonna do, man? Am I gonna sit here and monitor these trades? Like it's not even worth it. It's really not, unless like the risk to reward's there. If the risk to reward is there for a short, like you're at towards the top of a pattern or something, or you're at towards a clear resistance level, sure, short the asset. But a lot of these are at major support levels, and they're at level like. You want to short ETH right here at the 200-week moving average? Like, no, I'm not shorting ETH right here at the 200-week. Even if it does go to 650, man, I'm not shorting this thing. Like, maybe once it gets a clear break and a back test, right? If we get a clear break and a clear back test or rejection, sure. But me shorting ETH just means that I'm in cash. I'm not actually shorting the asset. That's me personally. For me, I don't know, man. I don't really like to get stuck in short trades. On a manual trade, anyway. So if we're using bots, it's something completely different, right? Like Toe's using bots and he's shorting the market. Just be careful shorting at supports is all I'm going to say. Let's see. What else did you guys want to look at? Oh yeah, we were going to look at fear and greed, right? We're in fear levels, extreme fear levels. So obviously we're in prime long-term accumulation zones, even if we are getting another capitulation. Let's see. Let's see, Nupal. What's the percentage with SAR at the moment shorting? I think that's going to vary based on your risk level, man. But I think we've had users report anywhere from like 0.1 to 0.5% a day. Depends on what their risk level is. And Nupal is in capitulation zone right now. So there you go. I mean, this is when you want to be buying stuff. Right? Historically. Not financial advice. We already talked about it. Bitcoin maybe testing 13.8K. All right? Yeah, and SAR, we're coming out with a new version of SAR where we have what's called we already have the trend built into it, but there's gonna be some more automation with it, which is nice. It's not out yet, but it'll be for our VIPs, and yeah, looking forward to it. It's gonna be good stuff. Yeah, so I mean, ETH can drop here a bit, right? I'm waiting for this death cross. If we get this death cross, that's when our final capitulation will come in after this 5-day crosses. That's what I'm thinking. See, we got our capitulation here after this 5-day death cross. Right, so if you line that up, That actually lines up with a higher low. So maybe we just, I don't know, maybe we just double bottom there. I don't know. We'll see. Rip everything, buddy. Banned. Yeah, I mean, this is a shit coin, but it's really wrecked, man. I liked it because it's in a squeeze on the I'm using this I'm using this explosion indicator, and I mean it's pretty interesting. It's called, it's called the OBV, on balance volume plus moving average here, explosion detector, and it's pretty good at finding consolidations and maybe areas of where we could see assets break out or break down. I mean, this could very well just break down. This asset's been in a downtrend since 2021. So. Yeah. We're getting some buy signals down here on this asset. That's why I was starting to like it. But it's tough with the macro situation right now to be really buying into some speculative assets like band protocol. I mean, this is where you want to be buying assets, man, right? Red zone. You don't want to be buying them up here. You want to be buying them below 45 on the weekly. So, thing is I don't know how far down this thing's going to go, right? So, that's the problem with crypto, man, is a lot of these assets are so new. There's not a lot of chart history. And so this thing can very well go back down to 20 cents, man. I don't know. It's at a 618 right now. What's stopping it from going to a 786 or an 886 retrace? What's stopping it? This is like, nobody cares about band protocol. You know, that's the only thing. CRV. Now this coin has a bit more viability than band protocol because CRV is a liquidity pool, right? So, I mean, there's lots of DeFi stuff going on with this coin. At least there's some demand for it, maybe. And yeah, it did a 78.6% retrace, got a nice reaction rally, and it's coming back down for a retest. So, you know, depending on, you know, this is a level that it's at right now. I mean, but it would make more sense if it like pivoted like right around the same low, around 65 cents. That would make more sense than where it's at right now. I mean, it is at a support right this very moment, and if Bitcoin is going to push up a bit, then there's no reason why this doesn't push up to at least test 97 cents. Do I think 88 could go less than a penny? Probably not, man. Probably not. I was looking at maybe 20 cents or 15 cents for ADA, but I mean, it's tough to really know, man. What do I know? I don't really know anything. I just look at charts, so I just look at levels, just like anybody else. Anyone that tells you they know where exactly everything is going is full of shit, man. Nobody knows anything. Right? There's nothing here. If this thing breaks, it can come all the way down to 18 cents. Right? There's nothing here. You break this fib, you're going down to the next fib, which is 23 cents. Bull div on the hourly. All right, so we're gonna get a short-term move up. Yeah, I mean, Tether's at daily resistance right now. We could see this pull back a little bit. It can just sit up here. It can just trade in this range for a bit, right? You can do this for a while before it breaks up, or it could actually could come back down to retest this low, right? Which would cause Bitcoin to move up. But ultimately, you know, if this is a falling wedge that it did break out of, we ultimately will come up to test the top of this wedge, or at least go to the 786 or the next level here. So just pay attention to these levels, right? So 7.78%, we get closures above that. We're talking about going to 8.5% and then up to 9%, all right? That's what I'm looking at for Tether right now. And flippening index, I think, does the, yeah, maybe this guy has that chart. I feel like I saw that on here somewhere. So the flippening index, here you go. Yeah, we're kind of range bound right now, right? We made this top back here in end of the year last year. And then tested it and rejected it. So no flippening yet for ETH. Cycle chart. Cycle chart's looking like a capitulation by end of the month. And we bottom out by December. That's what it's saying. It's saying $9,300 bottom it's calling right now. That's what it's saying. But we know that that 13.8K level is a pretty big level. And yeah, I guess 10K, there's major support at 10K as well, if we really break through that. Right, so we have these wicks up here, 13.8 on the daily, but if we go to the monthly, what's the happening on the flippening? We're not even close to that. There's nothing to talk about there. Flippening refers to ETH flippening Bitcoin, which we're nowhere near. Yeah, so it's calling for like $9,750 to $10,000 range there on the cycle chart. So basically this month, or end of this month, the collapse starts the end of this month, and we get another 40% drop is what it's saying. So stay tuned for the bottom. All right. Well, I want to thank all of you guys for joining the stream tonight. Thank you so much, Future Soldier, for the $4.20 super chat. Really appreciate that, man. Welcome back. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the content here. Make sure you guys smash up that like button, hit the subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel. And we'll catch you guys in the next stream. Maybe I'll start doing some more content here as we approach those bottoming levels, all right? And of course, if you guys have any feedback about the streams and how we do them here at STP, let me know. You can always leave a comment on the YouTube video, or you can always message me on Discord, all right? Thank you guys so much. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful week. We'll catch you guys next week. Thank you guys so much.